Bring back rock.
Hey everybody, it's Dean. Welcome to Bring Back Rock. Today we're talking about a band, an LA band. They're an actual LA band, not a band that came together in LA. They formed in the 70s, so they were contemporaries of bands like Van Halen, Snow, the original Quiet Riot, Rat, although they moved from San Diego, but still Southern California band. So they formed in the 70s, and they did not get their major label debut until 1989. So they had a long wait of a long run in the clubs before getting their chance at the big time. I discovered them when I was at a Christmas party, early 90s, mid 90s, and we were talking to a coworker's husband, and we were both 80s fans. We were talking about bands that maybe other people hadn't heard of, and I had heard of Shark Island and DAD, but I didn't have the cassettes, so he ended up sending those, making copies of me to listen to, and that's how I first got Shark Island and DAD, and they're both bands are really, really good. So, of course, now I own all that stuff, but that's how I found out about Shark Island, or I knew about them, but that's how I first heard Shark Island. We're also going to talk a little bit about the supergroup Contraband, because you really can't talk about Shark Island and their original demise without talking about Contraband. So, all right, that's it. Let's talk about Shark Island. The band Shark Island formed in 1979 by guitarist Spencer Sercombe and singer Rick Zerny, who met in high school. Rick later changed his name to Richard Black. The band was originally called Sharks. They released an indie album called Alter Ego in 1982, and they also released 3 singles. One of them was Kid Sister with the backside of Your Car or Mine. Cool thing about this one was its shape. It was 45, circular shape, but had 3 shark fins coming off of it, which looked kind of cool. Guitarist Spencer Sercombe eventually worked at BC Rich and was responsible for the coolest guitar of the 80s going into production, as he convinced them to manufacture the Warlock design guitar. Even I have a Warlock and I can't play crap, but it looks cool. Sharks became a very popular club band around Southern California, sharing bills with bands like Motley Crue, Quiet Riot, and MSG. They changed their name to Shark Island in 1985. The band would play 16 to 20 shows a week. That's almost 3 shows a day. They were the house band at Gazzari's Fridays and Saturday nights for 2 years. They also were the house band at other clubs, different nights around the area. They played so many shows, they became known for being unpredictable. With so many shows, they could experiment with different songs and props and try anything. In 1986, they independently released the album School Bus. That's S''apostrophe COOL Bus, which included a cover of New York, New York, which Bill Gazzari himself helped produce. And most of the album was produced by Rick Derringer. In addition to Richard Black and Spencer Sercombe, Walt Woodward III was on drums, and Tom Rucci, R-U-C-C-I, on bass, as well as Michael Guy on guitar and bass. In 1989, they finally got to release their major label debut on Epic Records called Law of the Order. Paris Calling was a lead single. They also had songs on 2 soundtracks to huge movies. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, I believe, had 2 songs, and they had a song on Point Break as well with Keanu Reeves and Patrick Swayze. Okay, this lineup came with a new rhythm section. Greg Ellis was on drums and Chris Heilman on bass. Richard was known for his original stage moves, which left quite an impression on another singer new to the LA scene, who borrowed aspects of his serpentine moves behind the microphone for himself and found great success with it. Looking at you, Axl. All right, now we need to talk about Contraband, a supergroup with Bobby Blotzer of Rat on drums, Tracy Guns of LA Guns on guitar, Michael Schenker on guitar, Cher Peterson of Vixen on bass, and Shark Island's Richard Black on vocals. They released 1 cool album. All members had the same manager, and he had this idea for a supergroup. It was just going to be a studio project to start with, but pressure was applied to send them on the road. Richard was hesitant and wanted to get back to working on Shark Island's follow-up album, but the pressure mounted, and eventually a tour with LA Guns opening, Rat second, and Contraband headlining was put together. Richard was very against Contraband headlining because nobody knew who Contraband was. Everybody knew who LA Guns and Rat were, but this is what they went with. Richard says he was constantly asking to practice and rehearse. The band never played together. Even in the studio, they even recorded their own parts alone. The closer the show got, the more he pressured for rehearsals, which never happened. He also thought it was stupid for Contraband, like I said, to headline. But the talent was top-notch, no doubt. They had never played a single note together. With no practices, he was told everyone was top-notch, knew their parts, it would be fine. The day of the show, like I said, they still had not played a single note. LA Guns and Rat go on and kill, of course. A little backstage partying perhaps before Contraband went on. Regardless, they hit the stage, and Richard said he had no clue what the guys were playing. Couldn't even tell what song they were doing, or even if they were playing the same songs. He just quickly left the stage, and that was the end of Contraband. Also, sealing the fate for Shark Island. Because of that failed show, they lost their manager, their record deal, and for a time, Richard just left music. But as we know, these bands tend to resurrect. In 2006, they released an album, Gathering of the Faithful, on Frontiers Records with new drummer Glenn Sobel, still with Richard, Spencer, and Christian Heilman. It was a more personal, experimental album and looked to bookend the career of Shark Island. However, after a show just done for fun, Richard put Shark Island back together for a new album with a new lineup called Bloodline in 2019. Bloodline was re-released in 2020 as Bloodline 2.0, like 2020 2.0, and also a couple bonus tracks on there as well. They have also released some live recordings throughout their career. So where are they now? Oh, just for the record, Bloodline, I believe, also had Chris Heilman still on bass, but he was the only returning member. He asked Spencer Sercombe, but he just wasn't interested. All right, so now here we go. Where are they now? Drummer Greg Ellis played with Michael Monroe and Steve Stevens' band Jerusalem Slim, which is a great album. Bassist Chris Heilman joined Torme. Drummer Walt Woodward III. He left Shark Island to join the Scream with John Corabi prior to his joining Motley Crue. Sadly, he died of liver failure in 2010. Guitarist Spencer Sercombe, he played with Michael Schenker and Bill Ward. Like I said, he was offered to join Shark Island's newest lineup, but declined. All right, I think that wraps up Shark Island. At least, I mean, they were around for a long time. That's a pretty quick history of them. Let's hear some music, and I will catch up with you guys at the end of the video.
Where the dreams of a woman crumble to the ground. Just another day, take my breath away. Shake for me, Angeline, your broken soul in a neon jungle. Shake for me, Angeline, that's the way. Shake for We were feeling wild. We talked as though we would one day be. And this night would surely agree. And then in the heart of the hour, one of us gets it away. Somebody's falling, somebody's falling, somebody's falling in love, baby. Somebody's falling, somebody's falling, somebody's falling in love. I drive it on through your heart, baby. Now it's time to shine. Ooh, you got to save your pennies till you get old. Searching for the pot of gold. A man is measured by the toys he's got. Excess marks the spot. Go for it all if you need it or not. Excess marks the spot. On to condoms in Maui. What a Newport Beach. Far away down the road, past the day where the sun explodes. Getting close, eyes ahead. Don't look back when you're seeing red. Be the biggest, be the best. Go west, young man, go west. Set the pace for all the rest. Go west, young man, go west. Before you swallow the red pill, the one you fear the most, you bet your life and then you blew all your chances. You believe in hope, but how long will I go? How long will I go? Before all the order, before all the order, step out of all the order. It's a law, it's a law. We should know better, but our love is blind. But we can't let it go, and it hurts me so to know deep inside we're bad for each other. It's sad, but it's true. We're bad for each other. So why does it have to feel so good when I'm lying next to you? Hard for you to see. You believe what you wanna believe. I must go where my soul wants to lead. I'm entranced by the land of romance, and I know they're still waiting. When I feel my love burning deep inside my heart, I hear Paris calling every time.
Okay, so that's just a little bit of the history of Shark Island. They were around for a long time, so it's kind of an overview, but that's the bit nuts and bolts. Where can you find them? You can find their albums are on Spotify, so look up Shark Island. You can check them out there. You can also buy all their albums are available. Not super expensive. You can get them new, get them used, but they're in the $12 to probably $25 range depending on the CD. So nothing that's going to break the bank, and they're all available. So check out Shark Island. All right, everybody, as always, if you haven't hit the subscribe and the like buttons, please do. I really appreciate you guys spending some time here, and I'll catch up with you on the next episode.